I have here a picture of Jennifer's bike. She used to visit me, and she was always leave her bike everywhere. And here it was in my garden. Jennifer, the red bike. It's at the front page of the Painting with Light book. And now, how will I show this one? I'll turn this over. See, I'm just doing, oh no, that's the wrong. And now we have a still life I did of very classic. I wanted a dream against the ocean. And let me just get these in this order. They have to stay in order. And now I'll turn this one over and turn it back. And here we have, I fell in love with this jug here. And it's just a still life of all fall objects. And a great use of color. And how come this one is not right now? I must have taken 2 paintings out. And here we go. And this is a favorite of mine. I painted it like just a still life that's against a backdrop, but as you can see, when I do still lifes, I like to dream in them. I think this does have a dreamlike quality. And the sunflowers. And this was in the Boston Watercolor Society. The reason why I did this, and it kind of looks funny, I never saw such a big sunflower in my life as that one. It was a Rockport sunflower, and you can see I'm always putting things against the ocean. I love the ocean. And I gotta go careful now. Careful, and I better hurry up. I'm taking too long. And here we have, I'll just turn it around. We can just do the best we can. I'll turn there, my spring flowers. I'm not much of a flower painter, but I like this, and I put it on the old cinder block. And this one here, better turn it around, has been in many shows. And I did this because my sister gave me this as a Christmas present. It's a beautiful vase. And now we have the pheasant. And I'll turn this one around too. I think this one's quite expensive. The pheasant with the pumpkins. And it's good I'm going through these because they're all upside down. How did I do that? And now, again, the flowers against the ocean. And another upside down one. They're all upside down. I hope that Cindy makes them all go the right way. And just another still life. And just another still life. And just wait for a second for me to turn all these around, because maybe everything's going in the wrong way. And I did that. And I don't really care much about this still life, but I shouldn't say that. And, oh, but here's one. Too bad I didn't finish it. It's with Sumi ink. That's on the opposite side. And now we have the owl. Ruth Hagstrom's mother gave Ruth. Ruth died at 100 years old. That was her mother's owl. And another still life. Don't care too much about, but maybe somebody will like it. And I love this still life with the pumpkins and my chess figures. And this is in this had made quite a few shows, this one here. And now, wouldn't you know it, now they're all going the other way. Well, I'll just turn them around because we don't know what way anything's going. And these are my horses against a backdrop that I had. It was a mural. And I didn't finish painting this horse here because I didn't want to make it childlike. I wanted to let the mystery of you seeing it. And one of my most favorite paintings of all is The Road to the Flower Farm in Greenville, New York. And there we go. I'm going to turn them around again. And this is, this one here is up at Thelma Langton's. And this is a demonstration at Greenville of Old Farm Loop. I have 2 of these, but one has the cows in it. A demonstration on a gray day. And you can see when you're studying the day, the reason why I have this in, if you see the color of the light of the sky here, the barns were painted a dark red. But you follow the light, and the light is on the same color that's in the sky is falling on the barns. And you have the air in it. You see the same colors. And I did 2 of these. This is Mount Mansfield. I had liked this so much. See, it's got AWS on it. I'd like this so much. It's Mount Mansfield up in Jeffersonville, Vermont. And this is, again, the barn at Greenville. It was a different light. You can see a different light on it. And there are horses here, but I never finished the horses. I just painted right over them. And Greenville, New York. I taught up there for many, many years. I think about 16 years. This is Greenville, New York also. And another farm. And I have 2 of these very similar. It's a bright, bright color. But here again, you can see that what I'm after is the atmosphere, and the atmosphere is on these colors. And as you come closer, you lose the atmosphere. And Greenville, New York, and the Catskill Riverbank. Like this one so much. Early, early morning. And Greenville, New York, and just another, I forget all the names of the barns. And this one is so old. It even got mildew, but I took care of the mildew. The old sugar maple in Jeffersonville. Here again is that Greenville barn. You can see it's quite different because I was at a different angle, still teaching. Always teaching. This one here is a Pennsylvania railroad station. It was falling apart, and they have restored the whole thing. Now it's a tourist attraction with trains going back and forth and all this, and stores in there. But I just fell in love with it. And again, what I paint is I try to paint the atmosphere. And I think if you see the color that's here, you can see that color, then and working the color and the intensities, you were able to go way back, and then you come forward because the intensities grow again. Everything works with the sky. And Jeffersonville, Vermont, and Greenville, New York. Oh my, how I like this. This is Zion National Park. And you can see, I wanted to show how great these cliffs are, these thousands, million years old, and how little, and then the trees, how little they are. See, this goes way out of the painting. And then the trees, these are big trees. But then, look at man. Oh, and this one is the one that's ripped, and it's right ripped. Oh no, that's fixed, okay. It's right ripped where the man is. And you see, that's an area in the painting that is very insignificant. It doesn't matter. See, there's the painting. This is like, and you can see that man is only a minor part of nature. And Yosemite, and the California coast. And wouldn't you like to swim in beaches like this? Look, see, that's a beach. And the water comes in, and you got these giant rocks, and the color of the sky is permeating the painting and is touching everything. And I better go faster or I'll never finish this. And I won't talk like this tomorrow. And early morning at Yosemite, you can see how quiet, how very quiet. And Sedona, again working. Look at how close these rocks are to us and how far away it goes. And yet look how close that is. Look at the intensity of that to this. That's how you create your space, with intensities. And the main, California again, California. And you can see a storm is brewing because the sky is very dark here. And when the sky gets dark at the horizon, it's always warm, warm color. And Mexico, it was so hot, we couldn't believe that we painted there. That's Bernal. And the mission at, these are demonstrations, the mission at Carmel. Lucky to go to these places and teach. And Zion. And see, again, I put the horse in just to show how great nature is. And Sedona. And again, the mission, but this mission this day was a foggy day, and I like it better this way. And you can see that atmosphere, the atmosphere is all the moisture in the air, and colored by the light, throws that back, and look how close you come to send that back. And I took the color of the atmosphere and I touched the top planes. And when you do that, you have to carry it through the painting. You can't just do it in one spot. And Half Dome in Yosemite, and you can see how I turn the cliff with the color of the light right at the edge, and then I carried it through Yosemite. And here's another Yosemite. Okay, there we go. And the California coast. These are great old trees. They're dead, but they were nice. And Zion. That's Zion. And the California coast again. And here I put the little man. Can you always see that I put people in areas that are so insignificant? Because, you know, if I took that little man and I moved that little man closer to the center, that little man, even though it's the same size, would have great importance. But I always keep my figures in an area that's not important, because what's important is the bigness of the landscape. And here I took the color of the blue of the sky, and I came down, because a painting has to be tied together with color, and I came down, and you can see I put it right against the edges of the rock there. So the painting is unified in color. And oh, the wonderful day. This is behind the mission in Carmel, and it's mist, and to the Carmel coast. And I put these seagulls in to scale it. I love the color of that tree there. It really worked. And the water is in detail because the water's close, and the tree isn't in detail because it's far away. And this is Zion also. No, not Zion, Sedona. And here, the old ship. This is Eastport, Maine. And the old ships, the clipper ships that, and there's so many shipwrecks, and you only see them when the tide goes out. And so I had to wait. It's early morning. I was waiting for the tide to go out to see that. And Scudic, Maine. And another one of Scudic, Maine. And now we'll just go to the next group. That's 50 paintings I showed you. Holy moly. And this is Scudic, Maine. I'll go up there with my friends Thelma and Sherry every year with all the dogs. And we paint there whatever happens with the weather. And you can see, looking at this, that the rain was coming. And you can see I've used the rain. It's hitting the tree. The color of the rain is hitting the tree. And again, I am standing here. It's stronger. And I move over there. The color is less intense. And this is Port Clyde, the lighthouse at Port Clyde. And this also is Maine, and many people like that. This had been framed. It's a favorite of almost everyone. And this one I don't care as much for, but some people like it. It's at Scudic, in the big rocks, and it's on Blueberry Hill. And this is Tennant's Harbor. When I was teaching there, it's right near the quarry. And this is the house that was used for the quarry, the birches. And this is Tennant's Harbor. And this is also Tennant's Harbor with the fog coming in. And I have taken a little bit of white paint and mixed it with the color of the sky there. And then that color has to permeate through the painting, but not up close. And Maine, this was our September trips. Looked forward to it every year. Every year we went. It was the main trip of the year. And all the dogs would play in Thelma's room at night and make a mess of her room and eat up all our food. And this is Camden, Maine, in the fog. It was a regular watercolor, but the fog came in, and I mixed up the white paint with the color, that dull, dull red, mixed it in, and brought in the fog. And this one, I didn't have to mix any color with this. This is also Tennant's Harbor, and the rain did this one. Look at those washes in there. That is the rain coming in and working with the paint. And Port Clyde. And this is a demonstration. Maybe this painting isn't any good, but boy, it's one of the best compositions I've gotten. It's the Owl's Head light. And look, when I take away that moon, the painting doesn't work. That moon is in a golden section coming down. And this, I couldn't decide. This is this was not a demonstration. This is, oh, I forget, is it Rockport, Maine? Or it just goes up from Camden. It's going to Camden and the harbor, and no detail. And I was going to put detail in it, but I would ruin the mood. The house at Greenville. And again, we're back at the quarry at Port Clyde. And the rain in Thomaston. And when you paint the rain, you got to watch the values of the painting. You can't just look at the house and everything, but it's everything in its place. How does it relate to each other? Because values all change as the rain comes. And the sunny day in Connecticut. And behind the lighthouse, no, behind the post office at Port Clyde. And that's where I found my dog Bandit, right there. And Thomaston, and this is one of the best compositions ever that I got of a street scene. And look at how the trees, I am here, and I'm moving back a little bit. And then I go so far back, but I wanted you to look back there, so I kept the color so pure. So pure. And look at how you walk from this color, and you're walking back, and you can go behind the house and come out again. Florida. Did that with my father at my father's. That's after the great storm. We have some paintings in the show of Englewood after the storm. Mm. And this is near Sanibel in Florida. I was going to put chickens in there. I never got to it. But here's what I'd love to paint. You'll see a painting in the show here of the banyan trees. I don't know why I didn't frame this one. I just don't know why. It took me a couple of trips to Florida to figure how to paint those because the light changes so much. And I put the little figures in of the bicycles because the kids were riding back and forth. But you see, the children show you how great these trees are. A little child would just be right there. The tree is so great. Banyans. And again, Florida after that terrible storm. And this one will certainly be one of the first paintings to sell. And this was in many, many shows. And this is at Tracy Acres in Englewood, Florida. And look at the patterns that I made here. And this also hung in my house for a long time. And right here, you see, to give it scale, I have in great detail, I have that bird. I forget what you call the bird, but you see, you don't see the bird because the values are close. you see here where I wanted you to look. I wanted you to look here, and I wanted you to look there. And that's the second thought. Wonderful painting. Another one. Oh, I love Florida. Oh, I wish I could go there again. This is the beach at Sanibel. Did it at noontime. Well, only wild men, Englishmen, and watercolor painters go out at noontime in Florida. And this is also Sanibel. I think it's Ding Darling Park. Never been seen by anyone until you're seeing it now. Never been seen. I did this so long ago. And look at the birds, how you find where the birds are. Although you don't notice the birds that much, I put them in a very beautiful area, and they're in the center, golden section, center. So they're taking over just by their position. And look at how we go with the water, and we're able to go back, because as the water came closer, it became warmer and darker and more intense. And as we go back across the marsh, it's less. I should have framed that one too. Oh, and this is at the beach at Sanibel. And this, again, this has been in the show at Rockport Art Association of the palm trees. This again, after that bad storm. And this is the parking lot of Good Harbor Beach in the winter. And they keep it closed now. And it was such a wonderful place to paint with the big sky. And see back here, no, back in here, looks abstract. You know what that is? That's a Stop and Shop right there. I just used it for a shape. And this painting is the next house, right next to it. This is the Good Harbor Beach. The parking lot. Oh, the mayor must tell the policeman, the police chief, that they have to open the parking lot up in the winter so that dogs can be safe as they go to the beach, but all the painters then could paint again. And can you see how I entered this beach, this picture, with a golden section here coming right down with the sky. Very important entry to the painting, and then the painting moves. Very important piece right there. And that's only a path, an opening of the trees, and Eastern Point. Every day, every week, for 40 years, I would paint Eastern Point, a demonstration showing how we feel about the bigness of the sky, because you stand there and you can see the sky in a whole circle. And we try not to paint it just as is, but that day I fell in love with the breakwater. So I gave the breakwater the big piece and the lighthouse the little piece. And I better erase that mark right there. And see, it's how you feel about things is where you place it. And then I remembered showing how to compose this. And so I'm looking at that lighthouse there in this big breakwater, and can you see, I had to put those figures right there in a golden section center. The figures, you don't even know it's a figure, but that mark there, that mark balances the entire painting. A very important mark. And this is at, I think this is over at Wenham. I think that's what it is. And look at how the tree is here. And I didn't want to go there at that house. I didn't care about that house at all. I cared about walking through this way and going to the field. And you can see my most pure color, my darks against light, purest color, whole direction is saying, come on over to that field. And this would have been framed. But you know what I did? I don't remember doing it, but I did it. I folded the paper. And so all the value was off. That would have been a very expensive painting of the Chinese man with the monkeys, with my leaves. Be careful when you fold your paper. And again, Eastern Point. But this day at Eastern Point, I decided I love the tree. I love that tree. So I gave that tree the most important. I sent the lighthouse way back. I don't like you that much, lighthouse. The lighthouse is big, but I wanted the tree. The tree became big, and then I wanted to show how great the space is. Here's the space, and you see my color here and this direction. Watch the color as it takes you in and takes you out. And look at that little break in the sky. That was no accident. Golden square, that's in a square, holding the entire sky. See, you have to have that little white piece there to balance the painting. You don't have to put objects in. You do it with your color, you do it with your brush work. Follow the brush. The brush will take you to good places. And a farm in Greenville. How did Eastern Point get into this one? I don't know. This is supposed to be, well, we're just going to leave it there. It doesn't matter. This is Greenville. And this is the Greenville. It's a rainy day. I couldn't finish it, but I liked it enough to keep it. And the white sand of Wingershik. And this is Caleb's Lane. Nobody's going to like this. It's just a lane. This is where I live. I live right up in here. See, I'm taking the road up there, but you can't see my house. And this is Yvonne Wood's house. And see, there's the fence. That fence is white. But I wanted it that color because I didn't want to see it, because I wanted to picture that house. And you look whether, and you see that house is then balanced with this, with that fence. Caleb's Lane. Oh, by the way, when you paint the shadows, you want to be able to look into the shadows. Look at all the different colors I have. And to push that house, bring this house forward, I had to darken that edge slightly. That's called refraction. And then take you into that. That's how you create space, with refraction. And a Rockport quarry. And look at all, you think it's just old gray rocks? It's not old gray rocks. Look at all the color we have in the rocks. And then these cold rocks in the foreground. And look at how it goes back there. And over by Farnham's, where we get our clams. Nice clam dinner there. They have good, but it was a windy day. Can you feel the wind in that day? And again, looking through a driveway on Caleb's Lane, and look what I found. And see, the whole painting is taking you there. And the house is so little that I had to give it a center. And I had to help that house a bit. So I have the center, I have the mark coming down there. It's called an implied line. And there we go. And these little marks here. Implied line giving strength to the house. And this painting is so old. This painting is State Pier. When I first came here. Now it's all cement and big buildings and everything. It was just a lot of ragweed and rocks. But you know, they fixed it all up. I really like it better the way it was. But all of these are still there. It's this that has changed. I don't know why I still have that painting. That painting should have sold. Did I ever sign it? Oh yes, I signed it, goody. And this painting has been in many, many shows. The quarry, the Rockport Quarry. Many shows. One of my best quarries. And what's here? I don't know. Something's there. And now we go right behind the North Shore Art Association. If you go into the doctor's parking lot, this activity goes on every day. This building here that you don't see, the North Shore Art Association is right there. And these where they put the boats on, I forget what you call them. And that's the rocks. The rocks are there. You know, there's paintings everywhere. And just somewhere, I don't know where this is. I forget. And this is the old fort. They're going to take this down. I think this may be the Bird's Eye building. I'm not sure. And there's the houses that are there. And I did this when the sailboats were coming, the clippers were coming by. And Rockport from the headlands. And this is a demonstration. And every time I demonstrate there, I would fall in love with something else, because I would teach from Monday to Friday. But Friday we went to the top of the headlands and dreamed, and whatever you put in your painting first, that's where your composition started. We'll talk a little bit about composition on this. I found a square. A square is a rebatment. I take the corner there, I come down this way, And I come over right there. There's the square. I mark that right off. There's the square. And your whole harbor scene is here. I tell all about Rockport Harbor there, and then I tell about the headlands there. And you do it with the organization of space. I also needed center to hold the whole painting together. And so there is the center. We're coming down center, and this path is taking you up through center to hold the whole painting together. There's so much to composition, so much. Rockport Quarry in the fall. Isn't that nice? Didn't that paint the whole quarry? It was just nice seeing those trees there. And this day at Rocky Neck, it started to rain, and I could have finished the painting there for the class in the rain, but I saw my painting was finished, and I went to the car. Judy, all the galleries are over in here in the big boat, but look at that. This is a beauty right there. Why didn't I frame that one? Well, if nobody buys this, I'm taking it home and framing it. Okay. It'll be a pine pit. Tell me when to start. Go. This is Pine Pit in Rockport, and just two great big rocks, and there's usually all water lilies over there. And I was very interested in color. This is a much later painting, and you can see I just took opaque paint and put it right on the top planes of the rocks, catching the sky that you don't see, but you do see it, the sky, because the sky is now touching the rocks. And then I carried that color here, a dark against a light, because this is, I wanted you to look somewhere first, and so where you look is a dark against a light, so there was no reason to put the white there, but I needed it for composition, and so that balances Pine Pit. And here again is the sky over everything. And oh, and I'm going to just show this, because too bad I have two paintings on one side. Maybe I should have made this the painting. Oh yeah, this is a good one. Oh, maybe I'll change it. Well, this says 101. Maybe it is two paintings. This is Eastern Point. This is Eastern Point. Oh, golly, this is a good one. Look at this one here. I put the lighthouse right in the center, and now it's so little. And how am I going to give the lighthouse strength? I'm going to use an implied line underneath it, and can you see? I put two marks saying that's the grass. See, that's helping the lighthouse. I put the shadow of the rock right underneath the lighthouse, giving strength, the implied line. All of these, see the dark here, and it's moving up and moving here, going up into the lighthouse. Let's see, did I carry it any further? Oh yeah, I got a break in the sky there. And all of that is the implied line, and that makes the lighthouse very, very strong. And then from the lighthouse, where did I want you to look? I wanted you to look at the lightkeeper's house. And here I got this on the back of the other painting. Somebody's going to be awfully lucky, and then they can make the choice. And look at how I broke the sky up, just with a great big cumulus cloud. And here, so that the blue piece, look at the blue piece, takes a shape within itself. Wow, that's a neat painting. Two paintings for one. I think I prefer the lighthouse to Pine Pit, but I had chosen Pine Pit. Well, now I don't even know how to put it. And here is Eastern, this is Wingersheek Beach on a very windy day. And you can see by the colors, it was not a nice day to walk the beach, but I love days like this, and you can see that even blue the trees with the wind. Can you see? They're going that way. Everything's going that way. And then we wander into the beach here, right from the center. I'm starting to use center. I'm breaking the painting up, and I'm moving right from the center this way, and then over to that tree. You see, everything is a composition, isn't it? And look at this, tells us that it's not a nice day. See, look at all the gray and the clouds and everything. But look at the nice day that's back in here. The color is clean. And you know, when you get to the horizon, it has to be warm. So that blue has a lot of yellow in it. See, it's coming down to the horizon. And then we get the clouds going again. And they also have to have red in them. Anything that's coming to the earth bounces up that wonderful warm colors. And this was in many, many shows and many demonstrations. I demonstrated this boat over and over. I have it at home in my house in a great big double elephant, but I have it smashing against rocks. And this is when they were sinking the boats in Gloucester. And look at the wash in here. Look at that colored wash of the boat. It's about to sink. They took those boats out and sunk them. And this is behind the parking lot of the Stop and Shop. And you stand by the fence, and then you look through the fence, and that's what you see. And the trees behind Marnie Williams' house, the great big birch. And King Street, Rockport, from an impression of the street, playing with greens. Green is a wonderful color to play with. Look at the colors of the greens here. Look at the color there. Look at the color here to the color over there. Play with your greens. Don't let them stay the same. And this is, again, in the winter at the parking lot of Good Harbor Beach, where we're not allowed to go anymore. And I did this out there. I have two paintings like this. I have the other one at home. And look at the way the color changes in the shadow to give it interest. And the sky comes down in the center and is helping the house. And the shadow going into light is right under the house too. Everything helping the house and the atmosphere and the trees. And now we had a terrible storm in '78, and this is Bass Rocks, and look at the damage it did. Look at what happened to the trees. And the corner of Norwood Avenue, one of the nicest places to paint. And the house is here. And we're looking back there. And we're coming forward again. And look at all the changes in the greens. And this is when we were painting up at the Manships. And this is just that little garden house in the fall. And Rocky Neck. And I folded this paper, see, because I wanted a long painting. See, it's folded. Because I wanted Rocky Neck to feel the longness of the harbor, and that's exactly as it is. And everything is long. The clouds are long, the houses are long, the wall, the water, everything is these long horizontal lines. And my abstract at Millbrook Park, I didn't mean it to be an abstract, that's the way I was seeing that day. And again, up at Summit Avenue, and just the impression of the birches, and up at Ledgemont Avenue. I don't like this one too much. And this one was in many, many shows. The abstract out here, right in the parking lot of the North Shore Art Association. I was teaching in those days the handling of figure and ground, the white paper. See, the white paper is going all through the painting, all through, not just in one spot. Everything has to be touched with it. The blue work, see, the blue is all balanced. The yellow is all balanced. Every color put on has see the green here, look at how I balanced it over there. Everything is balanced. And Lane's Cove, and the big rock that I love to climb. And all we have here, I didn't want to tell about Lane's Cove. I wanted to tell about the rock and the ragweed. And I gave the ragweed a wonderful place. And I gave all of Lane's Cove. Here's the square again. And Lane's Cove is there. And the rock took the dominant area. And the surf at Bass Rocks is hung at the Rockport Art Association for many, many months in the hallway. They chose that to represent us. And this is the house right across from Back Beach. I think they took that house down and now built a big house. But that's right, you know, the beach is right in front of it. And this is Lane's Cove. And this back streets of Gloucester. I did this painting a couple of times for demonstrations showing different lights of the day. Again, oh, a good one of Eastern Point. Oh, look at how these washes went on with the grasses. And again, the lighthouse way in the corner. I didn't want to tell about the light again. I wanted to tell about the breakwater. I love that breakwater. And to balance the breakwater, the figures came right in the golden section. Eastern Point again. I didn't even put the lighthouse in. Oh my, how would anybody know it's Eastern Point? Because there's a breakwater. And how did I balance the breakwater? I flew some birds in the sky. And what's that there? Oh, some birds, I guess. And Owl's Head Light, again, a demonstration, not a finished painting, but a good composition. And this is at Hubby House, right behind Hubby House, looking at Gloucester, where artists of the past all stood here on this ground painting the great scenes like Fitzhugh Lane and all those wonderful painters. That's where they were, seeing Gloucester Harbor. And this is the same place as this, turned around, and I painted the parking lot at Hubby House. And Wingasheek Beach, and everything is in grays, no light, just a ray of light came on the sand dunes there. And Montgomery's boatyard on the hottest day you can imagine. And I've got all of these, and it's so dry, and all the colors are showing. It was so strong a day. And on top of Ledgemont, well, and I have two of these paintings, they're almost alike, of the old telegraph pole. And everybody paints that telegraph pole. It won't be there much longer. Sure, the people don't like it, but oh, isn't it wonderful? We do a portrait of a telegraph pole, and then what do? We walk down the street and down the hill. Again, this is the Headlands painting the white paper. See the figure and ground, the balancing of white paper. And an impression of the woods up at Summit Avenue, just an impression. And this is over at Rocky Neck. And it's that little path that goes down to the water with the big rock. But instead of painting that, I stood right at the path because I like the tree to this tree and the broken piece of granite. I thought it made a wonderful subject matter right in that area. It doesn't matter what you paint, it's what you like. And did this a long time ago, just a boy and his dog. Another Eastern Point. Seems all these Eastern Points I put in this show, I have so many home. I didn't realize I was taking almost the same composition again. And Bass Rock. Oh, look at that one on the back side of it. That's kind of nice. Too bad I didn't finish it. That's Granite Pier. And now this is Bass Rocks on a hot day. And I had this in a couple of shows. I also had it hanging in my living room. It's an awfully good one. And so is this a good one. And oh, I wish I could get washes like this. Let me get it that it's perfectly seen here. Look at this is Lane's Cove. I could never paint washes like this. It just happened. It's so clean. And that was the day. I must have been extremely quiet and extremely happy that day because we paint our emotions. We only pick up the brush and paint what we see. No, we paint how we feel each day. It's always different. This is Cathedral Rocks, did that a long time ago behind the Ralph Waldo Emerson. And a field in Vermont, and Rockport Quarries again. Must have done this one very fast. It looks, the washes went on so quickly. Maybe it was a very hot day and I had to get out of there. And this is where my dog Michael and I go walking. It's behind Kelly's Pond, and that takes you right out into the woods. Look at the nice color changes in the rock. And Bass Rocks, just a quiet day. Just standing there looking at the ocean. and over at the Essex Boatyard and Peggy Williams' backyard. And you know, I had a little dog, her name was Patty. And she was little and was always with me. And there she is. That's my little dog, Patty. It's the only dog I had. That's why I came to Rockport. Patty just had the habit of biting people. And so I had to leave New Jersey and move to Rockport. And I would maybe be here if it wasn't for Patty. And now this is right behind the North Shore Art Association on a very quiet day. And now with Patty, I had a wonderful golden retriever, and that's Missy. And I got this rejected in a show because they said the dog was walking out of the picture. Of course the dog was walking out of the picture. The dog was dying. I knew I was going to lose Missy. She was 15 and a half. I knew I was going to lose her. And yet I brought it back because I balanced the Missy with this tree right here. And that's Bearskin Neck. See that? Can you see that tree? Is in the center. Learn this from Degas. We study the masters. How to put something on the edge and bring your eye right back. We must study the masters. And at Martha and Lorna's, the birdhouse. I have another painting started a long time ago of this birdhouse on a gray day, and I really like it. I have to finish it someday. And Bass Rocks. I took this out of the frame and put it in the into the bin here. And the path of Rockport Woods. And what's my subject? I don't know. I'm just walking down a path. That's all I want to do. I want to walk in the woods. And can you see my composition is telling you to go back and what's forward and how to move. And the old sunken boat that came in here. And we had to do that one quickly because the tide kept coming in and out and hiding the boat. And they were also going to take the boat away. Right behind the North Shore Art Association. And I gave the boat the big piece, but I wanted to have interest in the painting, so I brought the dories behind the pile so that it had some place to look. And now I'll go to some more paintings.